So welcome everybody to this special webinar. I'm just going to put the share screen on so that you can see my PowerPoint slides. How's that? Has that come up for everybody?
Yes.
Okay, let's get started. So Mummy Magic, time to shine. Let's me just work out how to do this. Okay, so thank you so much everybody for being here. I've put a lot of my big aha moments into this presentation. I know you're going to get a lot out of it. If you've got a pen and paper so you can write down anything that's valuable to you, that would be super. Good job, girls. Okay, so today we're going to be looking at letting go of the need to control everything.
Did you write this just for me?
No. I think there's a lot of us that suffer from that one. And we're going to also look at, how to let go of that control and start enjoying your life more. We're also going to look at overcoming the mummy guilt that stops us from honoring who we are and becoming who we want to be. So quite often we have layers of guilt involved with doing things for ourselves. And finally, we're going to look at improving relationships and being the best role model we can for our children. So in this presentation, I'm going to cover both what your children need from you, but also what you need from you. So my aim for this webinar is that you leave it feeling empowered to hop on that road to self-discovery and reclaim your magic sparkle and shine your beautiful light. Okay, so heads up at the end, you're going to want to stay to the end because I've got a special gift for you that I'll be offering. Okay, so my life as a mother. There we are. There's my two beautiful blonde cherubs. I'm a single mother of two girls who both inspire and challenge me daily. Being a mother has undeniably changed me in so many ways, and I'm sure you can relate to that. Okay. I'm not kidding about them inspiring me. The other day I was just cooking dinner and my oldest daughter came up with this beautiful presentation for me on how to love. She's put in there heap and help, and I did try and spell correct her, and she said, Mum, that is a funny joke. See the next line. So there we go. She's getting better at jokes. She still hasn't got the hang of knock jokes, but you know. Okay, so throughout the challenges in life, that's often our greatest opportunity for growth. It's through a lot of these challenges that I've gained the most strength and I've made the most personal growth in becoming who I wanted to become. Okay, so this isn't just about my journey, it's about whatever your current challenges are as well, and I'm here to help you. Okay, so I want you to remember that a diamond is just a piece of charcoal that handled stress exceptionally well.
I love that. I like that, yeah.
So our lives, it's really what we make of them. I'm sure I don't need to tell you all about the high levels of stress that often come with motherhood and the negative effects of that stress on our health. So unmanaged stress can lead to a lot of disease in the body. So I've developed my own 8-week optimum challenge, and within that we delve into mind mastery techniques and with overcoming stress and our own self-limiting beliefs. But remember that our greatest weapon against stress is the ability to choose one thought over another. So we do have control of our own choices, of our own thoughts. It might not feel like it sometimes, but we are in control. Our thoughts do not control us, we can control our thoughts. Okay, so just remember that judgment and gratitude can't coexist. Judgment blocks the possibilities. So the aim is to switch to an attitude of gratitude, and this is vital for health and well-being. It's not always easy when you feel like you're at the bottom of the ladder to climb those steps to raise your vibrations. But I'm here to help you as well. So stop focusing on how stressed you are and remember how blessed you are. It's a really important little catchphrase to keep in your mind. Try and pattern interrupt yourself when you're getting into those negative spirals and look for the blessings in life. Okay, so sometimes when things seem to be shattering around you, it's really just another layer peeling away, enabling your light to shine a little bit brighter. Obviously being a single mum, my fairy tale happy ever after didn't obviously go perfectly as planned. You know, I'm still on a quest to provide the most amazingly abundant life for my children despite that. I've had to dig really, really deep from a really dark place. And I've always had a background in complementary therapies. I've invested thousands on courses and therapies to further develop my skills, enable me and those around me to live a happier, healthier life. I've also just studied a lot of personal development and worked as a lifestyle consultant advising on diet and stress management.
Yay.
Okay, so to be honest, for me, where did it start? I was afraid of the dark. I suffered extreme depression when I was younger, and I didn't want the strong family history of depression to be a life sentence for me and my children. You know, I didn't want that to keep snowballing on and on. So I busied myself with play dates for the girls. I rushed around after school activities, one to the next, doing all these things, fancy toys, you know, everything that we think we need to do to be a good mother. But I really had a sense that there was something more that I could do to set them on the path of joy and abundance, self-acceptance and love. Even though my energy levels were low and my calendar was incredibly full, I still wanted to do more. And this is different from the mother's guilt that we'll talk about. This is knowing that there was more to being the best mum that I could be that I needed to unlock. Okay, so we're not picture perfect. My oldest daughter will not pose for photos with me, no matter how much I beg her. You know, and we don't fit that stereotypical sort of happy family model. But I'm here to tell you that if you take nothing else from this webinar, it's time to let go of the idea that there's only one way that you're going to be happy, and that's if everything goes to plan. Because it's probably that very thinking that's stopping you from being happy in the first place.
Yeah.
I want you to think of life as a dance. Sometimes it's your favorite song that's playing. Sometimes someone steps on your toes. Sometimes you get a bit off beat. But all that's really important is that you keep dancing until you find your own natural rhythm again.
That's cool. I like that.
Mm.
Okay, so there are times, you know, when we may appear perfect, and we do have our perfect moments, but I'm not trying to impress upon you the idea of how perfect I am or try and sell you the dream that you need to reach some level of perfection, and that's what we're aiming for. I'm here to tell you that it's possible no matter where you're currently at or whatever has happened in the past for you, you can reclaim your sparkle and shine your magic light of love and joy. Okay, so trust me, I know motherhood is not always smooth sailing. Even the most photogenic of us can have those bad hair and makeup days. You know, those haircuts do happen to the best of us. It's up to us how we choose to respond. Don't get me wrong, when I first looked at my beautiful blonde-haired ringleted cherub, I had to take a minute. I had to take some deep breaths. I could tell my eyes were stinging. I had a lot of emotional attachment to that beautiful hair. But in the end, I pulled myself together, and we actually ended up raising quite a nice sum for the Be Brave and Shave campaign. So you know, it's really up to you what you make of things. Okay, so is this all just making the best of a bad situation, or is there more to it than just like chin up, you know? My aim is not for you to have just to slap a band-aid on the situation. My aim is to transform your whole approach to life. In my experience, a lot of the barriers that we have to living a full life of joy and magic are our own internal resistance to our own lives. This may sound odd to you, but just think for a minute, and you can write this down if you want. How much do you feel that you try to control things?
%80 of the time.
That's exactly what I put, 80% of the time.
What would it feel like if you didn't feel the need to control things? Or if you didn't feel the need to control everything?
Very freeing.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
How much is your need to control related to your sense of responsibility, do you think?
80%.
Yeah, almost totally.
Often as mothers, you know, we have this high sense of responsibility, which is to be expected. But being responsible doesn't mean that we have to control everything. We're not responsible for everything, or more specifically, we are not to blame for everything. Okay, so quite often this feeling of responsibility becomes quite a heavy feeling, and we can really feel under pressure to control our environment. Now, while it may be our job to provide like a healthy environment for our children, and I go into this in more detail in my 8-week Optimum Challenge, it's not our job to blame ourselves for everything that doesn't work out the way we want it to. You know, this only holds us back from experiencing joy in our lives. When things don't work out, we need to evaluate and recalibrate. So that means looking at what we can learn and refocusing ourselves to hit a new target. This doesn't mean carrying around the pressures of blame and guilt and shame on our shoulders. After all, do we expect our children's lives are always going to be smooth sailing as they grow up? Is everything going to go the way that they want it to? So do we want to teach them to learn to blame themselves for everything that doesn't go the way that they want it to? We want them to take responsibility for their own actions, but we don't want them to get bogged down in blame, shame, with layers of guilt and self-hatred attached to it. Okay, so we're often aware of many ways in which we block ourselves, and there are often many more ways in which we're unaware of. This may aim to free you of these blockages so you may experience more fun and joy in your life without this sort of self-imposed ceiling of a limit of joy that we can experience. You don't want to be so stressed out that you forget how to have fun. The chief danger in life is that you take too many precautions, according to Alfred Adler. Okay, so here's the thing. As mothers, we have a lot of cups to fill. And our children need their cups filled daily in order to thrive. So let's start with control. Taking control of your life and responsibility for your actions is something we want to teach our kids. We just don't want to teach them that they need to control everything, and therefore if things don't go a favorable way, it's all their fault. Okay, so Adlerian psychology also teaches us that children need to feel significant. But how significant can you feel if somebody is making all your decisions for you? Okay, so ask yourself, you know, as our babies grow up, we often don't notice all the things that it's now appropriate for them to do for themselves. I was guilty of this too, you know, like I was still dressing my kids in the morning and thinking, what am I doing? They get changed at school for sport all the time. Why am I dressing them? It was just a habit that I got into. I kind of never even sort of thought to reassess what was appropriate for them to be doing at the time. So ask yourself where you can give your child more control. Or where can you give your child more choice? To get better at decision making, which is a really important life skill, like anything else, we need to practice it. So we want to give our kids some scope to make some decisions in their own lives so that they can get practiced at making those decisions. So it's really looking for opportunities where it's safe for you to let go and let a situation play out in order for them to learn from experience. A lot of our you know, the biggest growth that we make is learning from experience. So we want our child to be able to learn from experience with the decisions they make as well. Which is incredibly hard sometimes as a mum to step back and let that situation play out. You know, like for instance, my children, I was constantly, you know, grabbing everything out when we get out the door. And then slowly I sort of realized, oh, well, I'll ask them to get their coat and I'll make sure that they've heard me. And if they go to school without their coat, they're gonna live with the consequence. And you know what? Next time they're gonna take their coat. It's about sort of letting things play out and letting them learn from the decisions that they make what the consequences are, where it is safe and appropriate to do so.
That one for me is a hard one, because for me then that comes in the judgment thing where I think, oh, but if my child goes to school without a coat, the teachers and the moms are going to go, you're a bad mother for allowing that to happen, even though I understand that this is something they need to learn and to experience, right?
Yeah, yeah. Again, letting go of that judgment is another sort of thing that we look at for mind mastery, and you know, being really comfortable with who we are and not worrying so much about other people's judgments. I was talking to a lady the other day about, like, I was giving her the analogy like baking cakes. If we know we've put, like, if we're in a bake sale or something and we know we've baked the best cake, and if it doesn't win first prize, but we know we've really done our best, then we're okay with that judgment. You know, if you know you've really put your heart and soul into something and you've come at it with good intentions, other people's judgments don't matter so much when you're sort of confident with what you've put up and what you've done. If you know that's a bloody good cake, they just didn't like it, that's, you know, that's the best they can do. It's kind of a bit of a different mentality. So you just got, I guess, to be grateful for the opportunity that your child is learning these lessons as well, is another thing. And also, you know, sometimes we think, if you think of a child, they're often smaller than ours, not always as they get bigger, but to them we seem like a big confident giant. You know, we're just telling them what to do all the time. Yeah, so it's important that they get that experience to have some control in their own lives as well. We're really training them for life. We're not, you know, we don't want to be controlling them so much as training them to be able to cope with life and all it's going to throw at them. Okay, so the next thing we're going to look at is our child's need for attention. Amy McCready, the author of If I Have to Tell You One More Time, states that almost every discouragement in childhood springs from the feeling that somebody else is preferred. So this is quite an intense one, I guess, to really let it sink in. And what she suggests that we do is that we make sure we're spending 10 minutes a day, preferably 2 times a day, one-on-one time with each child. And this is time when we're emotionally available and doing what they want to do with no distractions. This sounded so easy to me, and, you know, like I'm with my girls all the time, so I thought, yeah, this is, you know, how hard is this? But when I actually started to do this exercise and realized how much quality time I was really spending getting down to their level, doing what they want to do on a daily basis, one-on-one time, it was actually almost horrifying, you know, how little of that real time that we take to really connect with our children. But yeah, I really encourage you to try this as much as possible and see if there's a difference in your child's behavior and your relationship. So as well as significance, Alfred Adler also indicates that children need a sense of belonging. Okay, so the joy of motherhood comes in moments when relationships deepen and real parenting can take place. This is the taking time to listen and laugh and play together. So it's not all about just, you know, directing and correcting. We need to make sure we're taking time to listen, laugh, and really have fun with our kids as well. Okay, so we've covered attention, but loving touch is also vital for health and well-being. So it's super important that we make time for meaningful contact, such as warm hugs and massage, that sort of thing. You know, the touch stimulates the release of endorphins, which is the body's natural painkiller. And there's approximately 5 million touch receptors in our skin and 3,000 in our fingertips. On the other side of that, touch deprivation is on the rise and can lead to aggression, depression, and bad health. So we really want to make sure that, you know, we see the value in that warm hug. And if our kids are a little bit more resistant to that, maybe just a bit of a shoulder massage or something. Okay. Of course, their little plates need filling too. As part of my Optimum Challenge, I've pulled together all my nutritional knowledge and experience with fussy eaters to put together a nutritionist-approved healthy family eating plan. But for now, let's just stick with the cups. Okay, so we discussed what your children need from you, but what about you? How full is your bucket? Would you say your current level of giving is sustainable? Is it enjoyable for you? And do you feel fulfilled? Remember, you can't give what you haven't got.
Mm-hmm.
So how can we fill our buckets? We've already discussed the idea of letting go of the need to control everything we do, but we do need to take control of filling our own buckets. As mothers, we don't always get the positive attention for our efforts. Motherhood's not always a role where we necessarily get a lot of encouragement or a lot of, you're doing great or good job. But motherhood is still, however, one of the most important relationships we have is the relationship with our mothers. So it's really important that we're able to fill our own buckets from an eternal internal source. Your life can be healed with love, but it's you that must give it. I'm also a trained colour therapist, and I couldn't resist the colours in this one. So you've got the pink for the unconditional love, you've got the gold for wisdom, and you've got the magenta for the divine there. So it means that we need to love and honour ourselves completely. Not only will this help us fill others' cups, but it models the kind of self-acceptance that we wish our kids to possess. Of course, it's lovely to receive love from a partner, or family members as well, but we really need to work on our self-love and acceptance. Okay, so ask yourself, how much do you love yourself and how much do you honour yourself? Okay, this is another little quote, which is, sometimes I forget that putting myself first isn't selfish, but it's necessary. We've been bombarded with messages about how being a good mother is putting your children first. But what if putting them first was the same as putting yourself first and being an amazing role model? Okay. It helps for us to get really clear on what we want more of in our lives and what makes us feel good. Take time now just to brainstorm some things, maybe 5 things that make you feel good, and that you can aim to tick one of these off every day. What have you got down, Michelle?
I have gardening, traveling, walking, yoga, and love.
How about you, Betsy? What have you got?
See, I only managed to find 3, which is pretty bad.
No, it's not.
3 is better than none. See, no, there you go. I'm judging myself. Walking, meditation, and time with my friends.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, good job. Yeah, if nothing, hang on. Okay, so a quick and easy way, and you both got this on your list anyway, but is to get out into nature and breathe deeply. Being in nature really helps to nurture your mind, body, and soul. And if you're not there yet, don't worry. I've got heaps of other tips and things I can share with you to help you. Okay, so if you're still feeling guilty about making time for yourselves, in his book, Awaken the Giant, Tony Robbins, an expert in personal development, suggests that our strongest motivators are pleasure and pain. And most importantly, we will prioritize moving away from pain over moving towards pleasure. So it's time to get some leverage on yourselves. Where does feeling guilty get you?
Nowhere.
How does feeling guilty serve you and honor who you are?
Makes you sick.
How does feeling guilty serve your children? How is it helpful for them for you to be guilty, to be feeling guilty?
I don't see it helps them anyway at all.
How does feeling guilty hurt you?
Makes you not love yourself.
Yeah.
And
Makes you judge yourself and put all the judgments on yourself and your behaviors.
Yeah.
And how does it hurt your children when you feel guilty?
I think you're not as happy around them, are you? You don't have, because my daughter's 19 now, and I look back at things, and yeah, because you don't treat them as good as you would if you weren't feeling guilty.
And you're also more overwhelmed when you feel guilty. You feel guilty about not accomplishing everything and not being the perfect mother and not, doing everything you're supposed to do. And so you become more inside yourself and are even less there for them and less present.
Yep.
Yeah, I love that. That's so right, Betsy.
Guilt is not your friend.
It's awful.
Okay, so I want you to ask this. Are you a priority in your life? You know, it's your life after all. We really should feature, you know, as a priority.
I'm trying, with all my personal development, I'm becoming more of a priority in my own life. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's really good, Michelle.
Yeah, I've just in the last few months, I've just kind of gone, yes, I need to prioritize me, because like you said, if you don't fill your own bucket, how can you fill anyone else's?
Yay, Betsy.
Okay, so are you modeling the kind of life that you want your kids to live?
I am now, yes.
And are you a do as I say, not as I do, mum? So do you realize your kids are more likely to copy your actions than they are to follow what you tell them? Your kids will follow your example, not your advice. So ask yourself, what are you planting? Your children and you will reap what you sow. And I really want you to have a think about, what do you love about yourself and why are you worth investing your time in? Remember that we're all made of stars. Are you ready to be a superstar and shine twice as bright?
Oh, that's beautiful. I like that.
Yeah. So I hope you found today valuable. It's been a great honor to have had this time with you. I'm so excited about launching my 8-week Optimum Nourishment for Mind, Body and Soul Challenge. So as my gift to you, I'm going to offer free 1-hour sessions with me to get really clear on where you want to go and the solutions to what's holding you back. Following these sessions, we can then discuss if it's right for you to join the group, where you'll be able to join with an amazing group of mums who are ready to integrate all these principles and support each other in reclaiming their mummy magic and living lives filled with joy, love, whilst raising happy, healthy, peaceful kids. You also join in weekly webinars and one-on-one coaching sessions throughout the 8 weeks. So I think we're going to run out of time. We've got 8 minutes left. So
Loads of time.
we just came up with a big warning message saying, you know, wrap it up, lady. Yeah, so I hope today's been useful for you both. Thank you so much for making the time to be on the call.
Thank you for giving us this and giving us this gift. Thank you very much.
Are you going
Yeah.
So
I want to thank you too, Kate. And Betsy, can I ask how many children you have?
I only have one, and I don't know how women do it who have, or families do it that have more than one kid, because sometimes one is overwhelming. Yeah, my son is 10 and a half.
Oh, beautiful. I have one daughter as well, and she's 19.
Okay.
And I have to say, because I only started personal development probably 2 years ago, and it has changed my life, like literally. And so it's changed her life as well. It's just been a real, I wish they taught it in schools.
It's a big thing. I'm the same. I've developed family qigong, and I teach some of the kids at the school some of the family qigong moves. It's fantastic. It's fantastic when we can do our personal development, but also take our kids along with us as well. I was struggling with all these things I was trying to do of the available time I had when the kids weren't with me. Being a single mum, they're with me all the time. So I've just tried to kind of really integrate everything with being a mum. So for instance, like when I was trying to healthy eat, the meal plans I put together are fussy eater approved. They're things that my children will eat with me. So I'm not making myself a salad and then feeding them, making them something different. Like qigong.
That's amazing. To find stuff that you can do that with, that's amazing.
We're still getting there with the meditations. I do meditations with them every night. But but yeah, I still do my own meditation separately because I can't quite get the same sort of amount of time out of them yet.
No, sitting still's hard for kids. And there is actually, in the meditation I do, there's a walking mantra for kids that they can meditate while they're walking around doing things, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
So what time is it for everybody? What time is it there in Mexico, Betsy?
It is 5:45, and look, my alarm clock is going to wake me up in the morning.
And I'm 8:45 at night.
So morning and night time.
Yeah, and you're in the middle.
I'm right bang in the middle. Yeah, I'm lunchtime. So
I love
you covered the whole world, Kate.
yeah, let's send the whole world a big mummy hug, a big mummy magic hug.
Hug the world.
All right, well, I'll let you I think you've got to get everybody ready for school, have you, Betsy?
Yep, I got a few more minutes because I usually meditate for a minute when I get up in the morning. So.
Oh, yeah. Perfect. Yeah, that's a really good way to.
I love that.
Well, I just started again. I used to do a lot of meditation and stuff when I was younger. And then when I got married, for some reason, I thought that I wasn't allowed to do that anymore. And I'm just kind of coming to realizing that why did I stop? Why did I stop taking care of me because I was married and I had a kid, So.
Yay.
It's easy for us to go to the bottom of the pile in that situation, but really we need to keep ourselves up there. Not over anybody else, but we need to keep the value of ourselves, because otherwise we get into that trap of really losing who we are. And then, it is actually difficult for other people to love us if we don't love ourselves. If we sort of don't honor ourselves and our own put up some healthy boundaries and really, become who we want to become, we sort of get lost in the whole sort of family hierarchy. And then it's even hard for us to even know really what we want. We haven't even, sometimes we find, well, I certainly found, I hadn't even thought about what I wanted for large chunks of time.
Because you're always thinking about what everyone else wants.
Yeah.
And what you need, how you can give for everyone else, because the model of the mother we see is the mother who sacrifices. Yeah. But you can't always sacrifice, you would.
But quite often you sacrificing doesn't serve everybody else either. It kind of, you really need to be a strong figure as well. I remember my dad saying to me, Kate, stop being a martyr. It's everybody who loves you want to see you be the best that you can be as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and your kids need to see you modeling that. So, yeah.
All right, I'm gonna end the recording now.
Oh, I didn't know you were still recording.
I just realized that too. Okay, so I'll end the recording and I'll post some contact details below if you want to get in touch with me.